Walk through a Christian bookstore or scroll long enough online and you're going to notice something familiar. There's Christian music, Christian movies, Christian podcasts, influencers. There's even Christian coffee. For sure, there's Christian politics and even Christian candidates. And at some point, it starts to feel like putting the word Christian in front of something kind of settles some questions, as if the label itself makes it faithful, as if labeling something Christian aligns it with the heart of God. And nowhere has this become more visible or more dangerous than in our political life. In modern American culture, Christian has quietly become a shortcut word, and it often no longer means shaped by the life and teachings and character of Jesus. And it's starting to mean aligned with certain moral stances, opposed to certain cultural changes, and part of a recognizable political tribe. So we hear phrases like, well, this is the Christian position, or this is the Christian candidate, or they're a Christian artist, or this is Christian entertainment. And once the label is applied, the conversation tends to stop. But Scripture never allows us to stop there. The Bible uses Christian, the word, very differently. Here's something worth slowing down just for a minute to think about. In the New Testament, the word Christian appears only a handful of times and is never as a self-chosen identity marker. In the book of Acts, believers are called Christians by outsiders. It's a nickname, a label given because people noticed something strange about how these followers of Jesus lived. They shared resources, they cared for the poor, they refused violence, they rejected emperor worship. They followed a crucified Messiah instead of a strong ruler. They were not recognized by slogans or endorsements, they were recognized by behavior. That distinction matters, especially now. So how did we get here? Well, as Christianity became culturally dominant, especially in the United States, it slowly shifted from being a risky way of life to, in a sense, a protected identity. Over time, faith became something you belonged to more than something that formed you. And then as culture began to change and Christianity's influence felt threatened, anxiety set in. And when fear enters faith, it looks for anchors. So instead of asking, does this reflect the life and teachings of Jesus, we begin asking, well, is this on our side? Does this protect what we value? Does it keep us in control? And that's when the label Christian starts functioning less like a witness and more like a boundary marker. Why is political labeling so tempting? Well, calling something Christian in politics does something very powerful. It offers moral certainty in a complex world, and it simplifies difficult decisions, can turn disagreement into, well, being disloyal to the tribe. Once something is labeled Christian, questioning it feels like, in a way, questioning God, and that is the danger. Because Scripture never teaches us to follow Christian things. It teaches us to follow Christ. And Christ is relentlessly difficult to control. Jesus refused this kind of exact move. People tried to do this to Jesus constantly. They wanted to make Jesus a symbol, a rallying point, a divine endorsement of their cause. And every time, he refused. He walked away from crowds. He rejected political power. He disappointed people who wanted him to take a clear side. Jesus did not offer himself as a banner for any movement that relied on domination, fear, or exclusion, which should make us very cautious when anyone confidently claims Jesus as their endorsement. So what is a test for us to make sure that we're not doing that? Well, the Bible gives us far harder tests than labels. Not the test of, is it Christian, but does it love enemies? Does it protect the truth, even when it's inconvenient? Does it protect the vulnerable rather than the powerful? Does it resist cruelty instead of excusing it? Does it look like Jesus? Those questions do not fit neatly into political branding, which is precisely why we would prefer labels. So here's the question this moment forces on us. Have we confused political alignment with faithfulness and Christian labeling with Christ-like living? Because simply calling something Christian does not automatically sanctify it. Only alignment with the heart of God does. And the heart of God, revealed in Jesus, has never been impressed by power, certainty, or control. It's always been revealed in humility, mercy, truth, and love. The Bible never commands us to label things Christian, but it does command us to follow Jesus. And that difference might be the most important one the church needs to recover right now.